Hello everyone, today we are going to look at a systematic way to answer problem solving questions using the STAR approach. What does STAR means? S, study the problem. So based on a certain question that we are given, we should actually look out for information that can help us to solve the question. We should look at also how the sentences are related to one another, and most importantly, identify what the question is exactly asking you for. So we must have something in mind, or rather an end goal that we are looking towards to. T, think of a plan. So once you have actually studied the problem, you have actually extracted all the information, think of whether you have answered similar questions before. So think of chapters, think of concepts that you can actually relate to this question, and think of how of a general strategy, general approach that you can actually use or adopt to, so that you can actually obtain the final goal that you have actually set out for at the beginning of the question when you study the problem. A, act on the plan. So once you have thought of a proper plan to find your answer, then proceed with your plan according to how you have actually analyzed it. So write down all the information given, draw diagrams if necessary, write down all the relevant formula, okay, of different chapters of different topics, uh, link the different concepts together if you need to, okay, and finally work your way, chart your way progressively towards the goal that you have actually set out for at the beginning of the question. And once you're done with answering the question, the final and most important step is also to think about your answer. Okay, think about whether it is uh, relevant, or rather think about whether your answer makes sense. Okay, is the value too big, is the value too small, does the have you answered the question, is the final answer in the correct units. Okay, so this is the final approach of the STAR approach. It's also called reflection. Okay, the reflection approach. Okay, so this is in general the STAR approach. Now let's take a look at our task 1 and see how we can actually identify the STAR approach in our question. So in task 1, we have been asked to think of a sensible amount for the class to charge for the number of sugar cookies, okay, that the class is actually going to make for donation. Okay, so what are the information given to you in this question? So we are given the various ingredients required for the recipe. Okay, so you can actually pen it down. So you're given the various ingredients given. Okay, you're also given the cost of all the different materials from various supermarkets. Okay, there's supermarket A and supermarket B. Okay, so the cost of the ingredients. Right, you're also given the amount of packets, okay, amount of packets of cookies that the class can actually make as a group, okay, and it's 480 packets, okay, and it's also mentioned you are required to uh, make at least $1,000 in profits, okay, so this is also one of the information that you will need, $1,000 of profits. Okay, and finally, what do you need to do? The main objective of this question, okay, we want to decide on a suitable amount to charge for the number of cookies. Okay, so decide on suitable amount. Yeah. Okay, so this is in general what we need to find, okay, for this question. So based on all this information, are we able to think of a plan to solve this question, right? So you need to identify and you need to actually look at it. So even though this question, it looks very intimidating, there's a lot of information here, okay, but if we actually break it down into parts, we may be able to solve it in a very systematic manner. Okay, so first of all, look at the number of cookies we have. All right, so in one batch, okay, in one batch of cookies, we can actually make 48 cookies. Okay, and in total you are supposed to make 480 packets of cookies. Each packet will contain 6 cookies. So from here you can actually decide on the total number of batches that you can actually make. Okay, so that is one. Okay, then second, you need to actually calculate the cost of all the batches of cookies using the information given here. And of course you want to actually get the cheaper version of the packets, right? So we will need to compare all the different costs and we try to get the best deal from the different supermarkets. And finally, of course, you want to actually include the $1,000 profit into your cost as well, so that eventually when you are actually deciding on the suitable price, right, you can actually factor this $1,000 in, right? So these are some of the things that we actually need to think of when we are charting down. Okay, so just a list of the plan. Okay, so first, maybe you want to calculate the number of batches. Okay, and second, you want to actually calculate the cost. Okay, calculate the cost. Okay, of all the cookies that you are making. And of course, the cost must be based on the best deal, all right, from supermarket A and B. Okay, and finally, right, you want to factor in the profit. And with that, you can decide on a suitable cost. Right, so this is a general plan, okay, that we can actually think of when we are trying to solve this question. And once you have actually think of the plan, we can start working on our idea. Okay, so now we will actually act on the plan. Right, so we have 480 packets of cookies that we want to make. This will actually translate to 480 times 6, okay, which is 2,880 cookies. Now each batch of cookies is 48 cookies, okay, because that based on the question, right? Okay, we go back to the question again, okay. Then each batch is actually 48 cookies. So 2,880 cookies can actually create 60 batches of cookies. Okay, we just take 2,880 divided by 48 cookies, and we will need 60 batches of cookies in total. And out of the 60 batches, right, if we refer to our table, 60 batches of cookies requires 21 kilogram of flour, 420 grams of baking soda, 7,800 grams of butter, 1,800 grams of sugar, 60 eggs, and 480 plastic bags to hold each packet of cookies. Okay, so based on our calculation, right, then we will actually need to plan, and after observing all the different comparison from supermarket A and B, right, we can actually plot up a table as shown in the as shown over here. Right, so 21 kg of flour, then we can actually break it down because there's 2 for 350, right? It's actually cheaper than a single unit of flour. So we can actually purchase 10 batches of 2 packets. That will give us 20 packets of flour, and the 1 packet we will just buy it as 1 unit. So this will give us the 21 kg of flour. Okay, and baking soda we need 420 gram. So 420 divided by 150, that will give us about 3 bottles of baking soda. Okay, and 7,800 grams of butter, we can actually purchase it. Okay, as follows. So 7,800 divided by 250, we will need about 16 butter. Okay, and subtracting all the different costs, we'll actually get this amount. Then the sugar, 1,800 gram of sugar, as follow. Right. So if you actually follow all these things, right, the total value will be $248.90. Okay, so this is before GST. Okay, all these amount is before GST. We will factor in the GST. So after GST, the total amount will be $266.32. So in order to make a profit for the charity, right, we'll also factor in the $1,000, okay, for the charity. So this one we will factor in. This will give us the total cost, and the cost per packet, right, will now be $2.64. Okay, because we will need to divide every packets by 480. Okay, so based on this amount, and a sensible amount to charge for each packet will be about $3. Of course, you can write $2.65. Okay, if you don't want to earn so much, right? But a sensible amount, right? Because as a whole unit is easier to charge to the public, right? So you can actually just charge at $3. And eventually, this is also for a donation drive, so I'm sure the public would not mind also. Right, so this is how we can approach this question when we are answering the problem solving. Okay, so this is under A of the STAR approach. Then finally, you want to actually reflect on your answer. Okay, so just think back about your answer, whether it makes sense. So again, backtrack to what you have actually started on. Have you actually factored in all the costs for the products? And have you actually factor in the amount of profit, okay, so that you can actually donate to the charity? And does the amount of cost that you're charging make sense? And is it overpriced, or is it just nice for the public? Okay, so these are some of the things that you can reflect on. So yeah, and basically that will be how you can approach the question using the STAR approach. Okay, yeah. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you.